Guys, this is Brandon Soley from thirstgym.com. Today we're going to talk about exercise called straight leg bounding. This is a good running mechanics and plyometric exercise you can put in your programs for your athletes, help them run faster, improve their speed, and ultimately improve their ballistic ability, that snappiness, as well as that hamstring strength. So as the name implies, we're going to keep our legs relatively straight. So they're not going to be straight as a board, knees completely locked. They're going to be slightly soft, okay? But we're going to run on the balls of our feet with our legs relatively straight, and we're going to have to push our center of mass back to where we almost look like we're leaning backwards as we do this. So I've given myself some space here to demo this. So what you're going to do is, again, once the athletes are good and warmed up, make sure their hamstrings are ready for this. What they're going to do is bound forward from their toes, trying to stay good and tall, keeping their arms integrated, running on the balls of their feet, legs are straight. It should have a little bit of a pop to it, so it's gonna, okay? So it's not about driving the knees up, it's about using the backside of our legs, our toes to bound us forward. And again, I'll do that one more time. Can't get a whole lot of reps in here with this kind of distance, but again, lean backwards, pop, pop, pop. You want to try to get those down and back, good and hard. You should be able to hear the feet hit the ground. They're not going to be like this necessarily, but what we're wanting to try to get is that pop and push from the calves, from the hamstrings, get the arms integrated, just like that. As your athletes get more comfortable with an exercise like this, then we're going to do it faster. So, and you can have them start to speed up, which will then ultimately help them run faster. Now, again, this is more ballistic. You're definitely going to see this probably more in your athletes that are going to run straight. Think about like your wide receivers, people running track and field, cross country. Those are all great athletes this works well for. But think about what we're trying to get out of this is that tendinous adaptation from the foot coming down, really trying to push through the foot and then reaching out, making sure that leg stays good and long. So we're not going to overstride, but we are trying to get this here so that we can get the hamstring pulling and then the calf is pushing, rather than when we normally run, we're going to have that knee drive up here and then we're going to push back through this way. So again, we're working on the backside mechanics here, not the front side mechanics. So that's the big thing to take away from this. Now, because our facility has 25 yards, we usually program these in 25-yard bursts, just because we've got that distance, we can use it. Use the distance that you have based upon your athlete. If you're really trying to work on quality repetitions, you could do 10, 15-yard goes, multiple repetitions, have them walk back, give them a little bit of break, but really make sure they're trying to push that foot into the ground, stay poppy on those toes, on the balls of their feet. Legs are relatively straight. They should be feeling this in their calves and their hamstrings, okay? We don't want to be feeling this in like the low back. We're probably not even going to feel a whole lot of glutes because of just how short the range of motion is. We're not really truly getting into any kind of hip extension. We're really just trying to get, again, all of that exercise, all that motion from the ankle and then keeping the leg relatively straight. Now, the other thing that I would say about this is keep in mind what your athletes are doing outside of the weight room. If they are running a ton, this may not be the best exercise for them. You might be better off using something like sleds to not necessarily slow them down, but to limit the amount of hits that they're hitting into the ground at high impact, because they're probably already getting that. But this can also be a great warm-up exercise or a tool that you can use to get your athletes warmed up for practice and things like that. So there's lots of good applications here from the straight leg bounding perspective. The thing you're going to want to try to slowly coach your athletes to is to take a little bit bigger strides as they're comfortable. But again, like I said, we don't want to make sure that we're overstriving to where our heels are hitting the ground, okay? We're not trying to get that. We're trying to keep this all again in the balls of our feet. So for us, what we usually do is about 3 to 5 sets, using the length of our turf to try to implement this and get that cyclic nature. The final thing I'll mention is make sure your athletes are using their arms. The biggest thing you'll find is when athletes start to do this, especially for the first time, they're not going to get their arm swing integration in. They're just going to kind of stay like this as they go. We want to make sure, again, thumbs the way we coach it, hips to nips. So we're going to go from here, get those arms involved just like they would when they're sprinting and running. So if you got any questions about this, again, great drill. I think it will help a lot of your athletes run, clean up some mechanics, and again, build the backside mechanics on their running as well. If you got any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Thanks. Have a great day.